of New York Newsday. Despite your incredible dominance in the paint in the first half, it was still only an 8-point game. What was the talk at halftime? What do you think fed into that 13-0 run and keeping them off the board for more than 4 minutes?
We felt pretty good at halftime. We felt like we played pretty good basketball. We missed a lot of layups that we usually make, and we missed a few jumpers that we usually make. And we felt that we were trying to keep the game simple offensively because maybe we had 1 or 2 turnovers, I think, at halftime. And defensively, we knew we could play better. There were a couple of times where we got messed up in our rotations and we kind of stopped, and we didn't continue to give the multiple effort to close out the shooters, and they knocked down some shots. So we felt like we can play better than what we were playing defensively. And the second half, I thought Draymond set the tone. It was I think maybe the first or second possession. I think they tried to post Steph with J.R. Smith, and Steph did a nice job fighting him, and Draymond came over, and there was a loose ball on the ground, and Draymond was the first one to the floor. Came up with it, and we were off to the races, knocked down a 3 maybe, and from there, with the fans in this building, it's tough to recover for anybody.
And quick follow with the magnitude of this win, does that have a mental impact on both teams going forward?
I don't think so. I think that they're a veteran team, and they've been in this situation before, so they're definitely not going to panic, or they're not going to think that we have an advantage, and our guys don't either. Our guys, again, they're a veteran group. They know what they need to do. And so the challenge for them is, or for us is, are we going to go out and do it again?
Art in the second row.
Yeah, Art Spander, a San Francisco Examiner. Mike, you've been around the game for a while. Yeah. You coached LeBron. Anybody that KD resembles with his height and his quickness can play. He's almost like a point guard who can play center.
LeBron?
KD.
Yeah, KD's so versatile. I mean, we put him basically at all 4 positions, and we probably could play him at the 5 or at the center spot. But doggone Bob Meyer signed like 18 centers, so we got to find minutes for him. So KD can't play center, but other than that, he can play any of the other 4 positions.
Coach, Steve Bitker from KCBS. Coach Kerr always talks about the assist-to-turnover ratio and how important it is. Yeah. Have you ever seen, it was 20-1 at the half and 31-4 at the end of the game, especially for a playoff game. Have you seen that before? And were you surprised at all by the fact that they came out so sharp after 9 days of not playing?
No, after being around this group for a year, anything that they do that's out of the ordinary, which the assist-to-turnover ratio is, that doesn't surprise me because they're capable of doing some extraordinary things. But yeah, 31 assists, 4 turnovers. Who would have thought? I wouldn't imagine it, especially going into game 1 against that team, because that team they're very good defensively. They switch a lot of stuff. They're in the passing lanes. They're physical, and so I give our guys credit for them taking care of the ball. And because Steve has preached from day one, if we win the possession game, we'll have a chance to win the game.
Back right.
Coach, Davide Chinellato, Gazzetta Italy. Obviously, you guys dominated and win a big game, but is there anything you are not satisfied with, especially going into game 2?
Yeah, I mean, just like them, I'm sure they feel like they can play better, but we feel like we can shoot better, not just from the perimeter, but again, like I said, we feel like we had some bunnies around the rim that we didn't finish that we normally finish. So that's one area we feel like we can do a better job in. And then in the first half, I thought defensively, the multiple effort wasn't quite there all the time. We stopped on rotations, and they got some good looks. So we can continue to get better in that area especially.
Last question here in the front row.
Jacob Palmer, San Francisco Examiner. Coach, how important is Draymond to winning that possession game that you stress so often?
He's extremely important because he comes up with, obviously the loose ball that I thought was one of the biggest, one of the catalysts for us going on a run in the second half. comes up with 50-50 balls all the time. He rebounds the basketball. I mean, he had 11 rebounds tonight. And then on top of that, if he's not rebounding the ball, he's tipping it out or he's boxing guys out. And so, you know, you have a guy that does that, flip side defensively, get deflections or get steals like he does, you got a good chance of winning the possession game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Coach Lou will be